I've compiled a list of 5 players from each side who we're going to talk about. You know, who's better. You can class better in any way you want. Obviously, we have Cole Palmer and Garnacho on the screen. That's not the one I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with Malo Gusto versus Diogo Dalot. Because Diogo Dalot this season has come on leaps and bounds. He's been fantastic at United. But obviously, Gusto is very much establishing himself at Chelsea as well. Mm-hmm. So I'll just pose the question. Who's better?
I actually really, really like Gusto, but I'm going to say Dalot, just slightly.
Why?
I just think he's, at this moment, a bit more refined in terms of his game as a whole than Gusto.
I think he's just maybe had more time to develop
just a
himself
little
as a
bit.
footballer.
Yeah, just a little bit more time to develop himself as a footballer. I think Gusto's really, really good. I think I just trust Dalot a little bit more. Like, Gusto's still sometimes a bit of a loose cannon. He can be, whereas Dalot, like, possibly United's most reliable player this season.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I back my players as always.
Of course.
I'm gonna go for Malo Gusto. Easily.
Why then?
The thing is
Just because he's a Chelsea player?
that's one. That's one point. But 2, I've loved Dalot for a long time. Like, genuinely, I've always backed him, and as like, not to make another debate with United fans, but I've always backed him to be the player that I preferred to Wan-Bissaka. I just felt like he had more to his game.
No one showed JMND comps.
Yeah, boy, he will kill me. He will kill me. But so I've always said that he's a great player, and I still feel I'm actually happy to see that Dalot's refined himself a lot more this season, because I just felt that people were just disrespecting the holy hell out of him, especially. Well, he was doing really well before the World Cup. Then after the World Cup, he kind of dropped down, and then this season he's come up to like where he should be. But I choose Gusto because I just feel like Gusto is still coming up, whereas Dalot is reaching towards his peak, in my opinion. That's what I believe. And he's a Chelsea player, so I'm always going to back my players.
So you think Gusto has more potential, basically?
Yes. I feel like he can.
Higher ceiling.
He can do, highest ceiling. That's what I really believe. And I just feel that, because Malo Gusto is only 20, if I'm correct, or 20,
Yeah,
21.
true.
And I'm not to say that, because he's younger, blah, blah, but I just feel that with what I've seen of him, because the thing with Gusto is that he started the season a bit iffy. Not bad, but he started off like he was a shy kid. Do you understand? And then he had to be, because James got injured, he had to be the father to step up, basically. He had to be there.
He's then kind of grown into himself a bit more.
Do you understand?
Not the stepfather, the
So
father
you think
steps up.
Exactly. I was trying to figure out how to say it. And he's done so well to the point where Chelsea fans are saying, obviously they're saying we need James back, but they're like, that's the least of their issues now.
There's other things to worry about, because the hole that James left has been filled somewhat by
Do you see what I mean?
Gusto.
And that's a big role to fill.
It is. James is fantastic.
James
as a player,
is deemed to be the best right back in the world at one point, or best right back in the league at least. So I just feel that with Gusto and what he's doing is amazing. I just feel like he can do so much more if we have the right team together, because I just feel like his potential is endless.
So you think overall you've got maybe we were saying Dalot's at this very second the better player. However, Gusto has the opportunity to overtake Dalot's peak at some point, considering the fact that there's like a 5-6 year age gap between them.
If you asked me to give me a player right now, the second for like a match that I needed to win, I would probably go for Dalot.
Yeah.
But if you told me who would I prefer, I would look at Gusto and I think to myself, Gusto and Dalot aren't far apart at all, but Gusto has more that he can achieve.
Potentially.
I think Dalot still has a bit of room for growth. Like, if
He
he
definitely
sorts his final ball out, you're talking about one of the most complete fullbacks probably in the world.
Yeah, his crossing does really annoy me.
It's
good when
getting
he
better.
He
arrived.
used to be really good.
He was really good. I remember he got an assist on his debut, I believe, in like some Carabao Cup game when he was at 19. And then it's kind of, that's the one thing that's maybe not improved, but his overall defending.
It's getting a bit better this
else
season, I think, his crossing, but it still needs work. But yeah, like, I think, I don't know, like, because he's just a player who ticks the boxes.
Yeah.
So if he gets that on lock, starts getting more assists, then he's talking about a ridiculous footballer. But yeah, I think it's fair to say Gusto's more potential. If we're talking about better, I think like better is like right now who is better to me.
It's Dalot.
Yeah, and I think we agree on Dalot.
Yeah, I don't think there's much debate with that.
Yeah.
And next one, we're going to go with two workhorses in midfield. We've got Scott McTominay and Conor Gallagher.
Oh my days.
I know, slightly different profiles. Slightly different profiles, but McTominay has started playing further up this season and has, at points, been very useful and at points been incredibly frustrating.
That's an awful question.
So, who's the better player? Scott McTominay or Conor Gallagher?
I'm actually struggling here.
Yeah, me too. I can't lie to you.
I don't know, because if we're talking about all-round midfield game, I'd say Gallagher's probably like his passing and stuff is better. Like he can play more of a role in midfield, but in the final third, like McTominay's goal-scoring instincts are just ridiculous.
It's crazy, yeah. He used to be striking in the academy.
Yeah, you can see how well he strikes the ball and stuff. It's ridiculous, but
His ball striking is lovely.
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm going for Gallagher just about my player. Just about my team.
Because I was going to say, I'd rather have Scott McTominay. Not because he's the better... Let's say, okay, the better footballer, I would say, is Conor Gallagher, as just a football player.
Yeah,
but I would rather have Scott McTominay in my team. Because you can find 100 Conor Gallaghers across Europe. I think it would be hard to find, for better or for worse, another player like Scott McTominay.
I think there's a few.
There's a lot.
Just in terms of what he has given United... And I've said this before, I think I said this on the podcast last week. If Scott McTominay is anywhere near our starting 11, get him out of there. Yeah. But put him kind of, on the bench. I love the box crashing thing. It does feel quite Man United.
So like Fellaini almost.
Yeah. And I think, for all his worth, Fellaini was a little over-hated at the club.
Oh yeah.
Like obviously hindsight's 2020, but it was actually quite good fun having him at some point. Yeah. But I would say Conor Gallagher, better footballer. Because I remember when he was at Swansea as well. I quite liked him at Swansea. I believe he was on loan. But he couldn't score a goal to save his life. I remember when he was there. But I would rather have someone like Scott McTominay in my squad, as long as it wasn't the guy who was sat in the midfield 3 every week.
Yeah, I agree with that, to be honest. I think nailed it, really. I'd say Gallagher's the overall better footballer, but shout out. But McTominay, I think he's a better squad option to have. I think also it's what they represent for their clubs. Like I was talking about earlier with the culture at Chelsea and why Gallagher's been so important, because like you said, he cares. It's the important thing. McTominay really cares, and he's like one of the leaders in the squad. I mean, look, he's captained us at Anfield, and that is a pretty big thing to wear. So yeah, no, definitely.
So we're saying Conor Gallagher, better player, Scott McTominay, better person to have in the team. I think Chelsea could do with someone like McTominay. I think it would be quite funny.
Why?
I don't know. So you could take him off us.
You need someone who can finish, to be fair. 60 million.
Oh, 60 million.
60 million. 60 million.
Bowleynomics, you never know.
Yeah,
£5 on a cheeseburger, I'll take him, bro.
Next one we're going to is the big one. Cole Palmer versus Alejandro Garnacho. These are two players.
What's Cole Palmer? I'm not even going to let you finish it.
Because what I want to say is Cole Palmer this season has been unreal. Yeah. And he really saved me in Fantasy League last week. I captained him, 30 points. But Cole Palmer's very much kind of gone to Chelsea, £40 million signing from Man City, huge expectations. And he has taken it like it's no one's business. And massive credit to him. Then Alejandro Garnacho has come into what is an incredibly dysfunctional attack and at times also carried the team on his back. With games like the one against Villa, where he scored twice after us being 2-0 down, winning those 2 penalties the other week, coming on last season against City, assisting Marcus Rashford in the winning goal and everything. I know you're just going to sit there and say, no, go away, Dylan. But it's just, I'm just throwing it out there. The two of them, I think with this one we have more talk about potentially where they could go rather than what they are at right now.
Yeah, true.
But it's a big debate.
I think right now I'd say Palmer as well. I think right now Palmer's more refined, but I think I'm going Garnacho for ceiling.
Fair enough. The thing is, for me personally, right, is that I like Garnacho. I like Garnacho. And Garnacho's nice. As a person, I know his little brother, he's nice as well, but we're not talking about that. That's whatever, right? So Garnacho's cool. I think he's got potential. Potential-wise, Garnacho could, if he refines everything, wow, what a player. But if you said to me right now, Cole Palmer or Garnacho, right, swap there's no way in hell I'm choosing Garnacho. I'm not doing it. In the sense where full Cole Palmer, no, thank you. Yes, Cole Palmer scored a lot of penalties, and before someone's like watching that, oh, but he's scored a lot of penalties, it's a penalty match, and then we don't care.
United fans said we can't talk about penalties.
Really can't. Really
So
can't.
we'll accept your point on
Really
that
can't.
one.
But the way I see it is that I just feel that Cole Palmer, overall, can just do so much more than Garnacho. I think he's a better passer. I think he's a better finisher. Look at that look. That look was raw.
Finishing, I'd say finishing, yeah, actually.
Finishing, in my opinion. Dribbling,
That's Garnacho. That's got to be
yeah.
Garnacho.
I was trying to be deluded there, but I know it's Garnacho. And off the ball, I will go for Palmer because no, I'll go for Palmer over here. I'll go for Palmer over here. I just feel like Palmer, but we're just so bad, so everyone ignores him, so you don't see it. I'm going for Palmer. I'm going for Palmer there. And in general, I know, God, because the thing is, Garnacho has improved so much in the past 4 months. In the past 4 months, I would say, yeah, like he's done amazing. I'm happy you didn't use that goal he scored against Everton as a bragging point because
That was a massive fluke, man.
yeah.
As much as it adds to his highlight reel, I think like Garnacho goal, and it's one of the best Premier League goals ever. It's taking away things like the fact that it's Garnacho everything. Judging players on things like that, I feel is never the most sensible thing to do.
Okay, fair.
Because because you can't judge a player just based on his peak only.
Yeah.
You got to judge based on
everything else
in the game.
Yeah.
But that being said, one of the best Premier League goals of all time. Cole Palmer, in his wildest dreams, couldn't do that.
Of course not. Of course not. I agree.
I think Palmer's a better player right now. He's more refined. Like I say, better. Just his technical level is better. Like better passer, finisher as of right now. Better decision maker. Definitely. Garnacho is still very raw in that aspect. Off the ball, I disagree. I think, especially because Garnacho, like his speed. I think his speed's weirdly become underrated. Like he was rapid, and everyone realised it. But then, like this season, sometimes people are, he gets beaten in a foot race by a quick player, and people are like, "Oh, he's not got any speed." And I'm like, "Well, what? Where did you? What game are you watching? That this isn't a fast footballer, a very fast footballer." And then people say stuff like, "He's not Rashford," and I said, "So are the vast majority of footballers probably ever." In terms of speed and like just pure power. I think if Garnacho like fills out a bit, right? Train him, please. If Garnacho like, not, I don't want it to get like, but like put on a little bit of size, but mostly increase his strength big time, especially hip strength, all right? Hip and core. We're looking at like a real monster player, right? Because it's that hip strength is about striking the ball, which right now he's a bit inconsistent with, and the core strength's about holding off defenders. If he sorts those two things out, oh my God, we're talking about a monster footballer here.
I agree.
I think overall, it's Cole Palmer at the moment is a more refined player, which is interesting because I feel like he actually, they've had about the same amount of senior experience, haven't they?
Yeah.
I'd say so. I think Palmer's the more refined player, but Garnacho's got the more, I want to use the word potential, but I just mean in the words of like, he can be moulded into any player he wants to be. Whereas I think Cole Palmer has a certain trajectory he's going to go on. Whereas Garnacho could be anything.
I think
Garnacho's more of the wild.
I think Garnacho's mentality too, like even in games, he's just such an absolute warrior.
Yeah. He doesn't care about anything, is what I love on the football pitch. He'll get knocked down, he'll get back up running, and he'll miss the chance, he'll take 3 more. Yeah. And I'm going to move quickly on to the next one, and this is one that you're not going to enjoy, is who's been the worst signing between 2 of the Premier League's least popular wingers in Mudryk and Antony.
Antony.
Well, who's the worst one?
Who's been the kind of worst money for money signing?
Antony by a gazillion miles.
Antony.
By a gazillion miles. I'm never going to entertain that.
Look, all right. Mudryk might be terrible. At least he can run. At least he can run fast.
No, he's not. No, people, no.
Do you think Mudryk's kind of?
Is that what you do when the Aldi cashier says you can only have 3 boxes of eggs?
Oh yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about?
So do you think that maybe Mudryk's been unfairly treated by how social media perceive him?
So what's happened with Mudryk, right? Is that people so he was good when he first came. By the first 20 minutes against Liverpool. Yeah, that's a huge tax, right? So he was really overrated from then, and he just wasn't performing. This season's come. Okay, he's still a bit, but there is a player in Mudryk. Yeah, and the thing is, he's improving. I've gone to games, right? So I've seen him. I don't even watch the guy on TV. I see him in games, and I'm like, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Fair play. You're still a bit dead, but you're good. You're getting there, right? Antony is abysmal in every single way possible.
I agree with that.
And the thing is, I feel sorry for Antony. And the thing is, I have a collection of players that I feel like are being treated unfairly. I try to see what they're good about. But he's just bad. He's bad in every single way. I look at him, I'm thinking, because I look at, obviously, his highlight reels, right? But I look at what he's doing he did at Ajax, right? I was like, okay, that looks like a decent player. And I see what he's doing here, I'm like, what? No, Antony is by a country mile the worst player. And I don't think it's fair to say Mudryk is the worst, is a bad signing. Do you know what? I think Mudryk is good.
I said pound for pound.
Pound for pound, fine. But I think Mudryk is good. And I think he can become amazing. And he's been good recently. And if he was in the starting 11, I would have a thumbs up towards that. I wouldn't be like, oh.
Fair enough.
I even use him on FIFA.
That's not measuring any way of a
Yeah, to be fair, on FIFA, it's just about
I don't play
how fast
FIFA, guys. I might stream, but I don't play FIFA.
And the last one I was going to do is Kobbie Mainoo versus Enzo Fernandez.
Why?
Because it's hard.
I'm choosing Fernandez.
You really think Enzo Fernandez over Kobbie Mainoo?
Yes. Oh, you
Man United fans
you guys annoy me.
Man United fans aren't going to like me.
You guys are so jarring.
Man United fans aren't going to like me.
Bro, of course I'm choosing Fernandez. Why am I going to go for Kobbie Mainoo? Kobbie Mainoo is a good player, but
I'm Kobbie Mainoo any day of the week.
Why?
I'm taking Fernandez.
Why?
No disrespect between you. Mainoo still, he's very, very good. Still has a few things he needs to work on. I think Mainoo could become better. By the way, guys, just for context, Brendan is Ghanaian, so him doing this to Kobbie Mainoo is like...
Oh, whatever, man. Whatever. He's my brother, bro.
Because the way I see it is I see the Mainoo-Fernandez debate a little bit like what we talked about with Dalot and Gusto earlier. Is Fernandez, okay, you say maybe right now, maybe take Fernandez over Mainoo if you're playing tomorrow. But I feel like Fernandez, for all his brilliant quality, how old is Fernandez now?
22,
23.
Yeah.
So he's got 5 years on Mainoo. And my point is being Mainoo, after 5 years of hopefully playing in a team that is completely dysfunctional under a manager which is able to hone him in, will hopefully be above where Fernandez can get.
I'll come back to that.
My question is, right, I believe Kobbie Mainoo is a good player, okay? And I'm pretty sure his name's pronounced incorrectly, but I'll get it. That's another story. I might, whatever. Just because his name is similar to my grandma's name, and it's like, anyways, no, I'm not getting into it. So, I believe that Mainoo is good. The first time I saw him was really good. I think it was
Everton.
Either that or Wolves.
Oh, the Wolves game where he scored.
I think Wolves when I was like, oh, he's actually a really good player. But in general, I'm just going for Fernandez. I'm sorry, guys. Like, come on, no, stop it.
I feel like
don't
this,
go over it,
okay,
kids.
maybe this is one that I feel like we're just not going to agree on.
Yeah.
So I think agree to disagree with this last one. We've agreed on pretty much most of them.
Yeah.
And the final thing I'd like to say is thank you very much, Brendan, for coming on.